When God is about to reveal your soulmate, one of the first and most powerful signs you will experience is a deep, unshakable peace within your spirit. It's not the kind of peace the world gives, temporary and dependent on circumstances. It's a peace that runs deeper than logic, deeper than understanding, deeper than anything you can explain. This peace is not loud or dramatic. It's quiet, gentle, and yet powerful enough to silence every fear that once lived in you. It's the moment your heart stops chasing and starts trusting. You will feel a stillness that tells you God is in control, that you no longer need to strive for what is already destined to be yours. This peace comes after the storms, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the seasons of loneliness where you thought God was silent. But He wasn't silent, He was working. Every tear you cried was watering the soil of your destiny. Every no you heard was redirecting you toward your yes. And now, as this peace settles over you, it's not just relief, it's revelation. You begin to see that the waiting had a purpose, that your pain had meaning. You no longer feel the need to question why certain people left, or why certain relationships didn't last. You understand that peace is the confirmation that you've stepped out of your will and into God's will. When this divine calmness fills you, something inside you shifts. The same heart that used to be restless becomes content. You stop searching for love in empty places because your soul finally feels whole in God's presence. The silence that once felt lonely now feels sacred. You realize that solitude is not the absence of love. It's the space where love is prepared. You'll start to notice how your spirit no longer clings to what's not meant for you. You won't chase validation or force connections because peace becomes your compass. And when peace leads, confusion has to flee. This is the peace that guards your heart and mind. It's the still, small voice that says, "Be still, I am working." It's the assurance that even though you can't see how everything will unfold, you trust the one who holds the plan. You'll begin to smile again, not because everything is perfect, but because your heart knows that everything is unfolding perfectly. You'll wake up with hope instead of heaviness. You'll stop begging God for signs because you'll realize the peace itself is the sign. You will feel as though your soul has exhaled after years of holding its breath. That's what peace does. It releases you from anxiety, from doubt, from impatience. It teaches you to rest in faith, not in fear. You start to understand that peace doesn't come from finally meeting your soulmate. It comes before they arrive, as evidence that God is near and your heart is ready. God doesn't bring love into chaos. He brings love into order. He will not reveal your soulmate while you are still wrestling with insecurity or confusion. He first restores your heart so you can love from a place of strength, not desperation. When this peace enters your life, people around you might not understand it. They'll ask, "How can you be so calm when you don't know what's next?" And you'll simply smile, because your peace no longer depends on knowing. It depends on trusting. You'll realize that you don't need to chase what's divinely appointed. The same God who created you also created the one meant for you. And when the time is right, peace will be your confirmation that it's near. So if you feel that stillness now, cherish it. Don't mistake peace for stagnation. Don't confuse waiting with wasting time. That calmness in your soul is proof that God has entered your story and taken the pen. He is aligning every detail, softening hearts, and arranging divine timing. Peace is your preparation season. It's God's way of saying, "You don't need to fight anymore, just rest, I've got this." That's when you'll know you're close. When the storms stop raging, when your heart stops doubting, when you no longer feel the need to control what's coming next, that's when heaven begins to move. Peace is the birthplace of divine revelation. It is the soil in which true love grows. And when that peace fills your heart completely, it won't just signal that your soulmate is near. It will prove that you are finally ready to receive them with a heart fully healed, fully trusting and fully at peace with God's plan. When God is about to reveal your soulmate, one of the clearest and most sacred signs is that you will be drawn closer to Him, not farther away. Before the right person enters your life, God starts calling you deeper into His presence. You begin to crave His voice more than anyone else's. The things that once distracted you lose their grip, and your heart starts to realign with divine purpose. It's not that you suddenly become perfect. It's that you become aware of how much you need Him. You start realizing that the love story you're waiting for is not just about finding someone, but about becoming someone grounded, faithful, and spiritually awakened. In this season, God begins to shape your heart. He uses your waiting as a classroom, teaching you how to love without losing yourself, how to give without fear, and how to trust without control. You might notice that your prayers shift. You stop asking, "When will I meet them?" and start asking, "Lord, make me ready for them." You stop chasing worldly definitions of love and start desiring the kind of love that mirrors God's heart. Steady, patient, forgiving, and pure. You'll find yourself hungry for His word because you begin to understand that if you want a relationship that honors God, it must be built on Him first. This drawing closer to God often happens quietly. It's not about big signs or loud emotions. It's about subtle transformation. The same habits that once felt impossible to break start losing power over you. The bitterness that once hardened your heart begins to fade. You start to forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you don't want to carry yesterday's pain into tomorrow's promise. This healing is not accidental. It's divine. God is cleansing your heart because He refuses to let you carry old wounds into a new covenant. And in this closeness to God, you begin to understand something powerful. Your soulmate is not meant to complete your faith. They are meant to complement it. They are not your foundation, God is. The person God is preparing for you will not pull you away from Him, but will push you deeper into His presence. You will recognize them not just by how they treat you, but by how they lead you toward the light. They will speak life into you, not confusion. They will remind you to pray, not argue with your faith. They will love your soul more than your appearance, and their presence will make you want to love God even more. When you are drawn closer to God, you stop settling for almost love. You stop entertaining temporary people because you know you're waiting for something eternal. The closer you get to Him, the clearer you see the difference between chemistry and connection, between attraction and assignment. You will realize that not everyone who looks like love carries the heart for it. Some people come to teach you lessons. One person will come to fulfill a purpose. That's why God pulls you closer first, so you can discern the difference. There may be moments of testing in this season. God may allow you to meet people who seem right but aren't meant for you, not to discourage you, but to sharpen your discernment. He wants you to recognize true love by spirit, not sight. And as you walk with Him daily, you'll find that your heart becomes more aligned with His timing. You won't have to force anything, chase anyone, or beg for attention. When you are rooted in God, you attract peace, not confusion. You magnetize divine order, not chaos. The right person will recognize the light in you because it's the same light that shines in them. As you grow closer to God, your standards change, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. You no longer ask for someone who simply loves you. You ask for someone who loves God enough to love you right. You'll want someone who prays with you, who guards your spirit, who leads with integrity. You will crave partnership over perfection, purpose over passion. That's when you know you are no longer searching from emptiness but from wholeness. When God draws you closer to Him, He's not delaying your love story. He's deepening it. He's ensuring that when you finally meet your soulmate, you both meet as healed, whole, and spiritually awakened individuals. you'll realize that God's timing was never about making you wait. It was about making you ready. And when that divine connection finally happens, you will recognize it instantly. The presence of that person won't distract you from God. It will magnify His presence in your life.
Together, your love will become a living testimony that when God writes the story, He writes it to glorify Himself through two hearts that first learned to love Him above all else. When God is about to reveal your soulmate, one of the most unmistakable signs is that old doors will begin to close. Things that once made sense will start to fall apart. People you thought would stay forever may suddenly drift away. Opportunities you prayed for might no longer feel right. And though it may confuse or even hurt you at first, deep down your spirit will begin to understand. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. God isn't taking from you to punish you, He's clearing space to prepare you. When heaven begins to align your path with the person He's chosen for you, everything and everyone that no longer fits that future must be gently removed. You might find yourself in a season where you feel isolated or misunderstood. Relationships that once felt easy may suddenly feel forced. The conversations that once thrilled you now leave you empty. It's not because you've changed in a bad way. It's because God is elevating you, and not everyone can come where He's taking you. The closing of old doors is heaven's way of protecting your destiny. What's ending isn't essential, it's expired, and when God closes a door, no amount of knocking will reopen it. He closes it because what's behind it cannot walk with you into what's ahead. This season can be painful because our human hearts cling to familiarity. We crave consistency even when it's unhealthy. But when you start praying for God's will, you must be ready for Him to remove what stands in the way of it. That relationship that broke suddenly, that opportunity that slipped through your fingers, that friendship that grew distant, it's not random, it's divine pruning. God is cutting away everything that would choke the beauty of what He's about to grow in your life. And though the pruning hurts, the harvest will heal you. Sometimes God will allow heartbreaks to happen, not because He wants you to suffer, but because He doesn't want you settling for half-hearted love. He will let certain people leave because He knows they would block you from receiving the one who's truly meant to stay. He knows that your soulmate isn't just a good match, they are a divine assignment. And divine assignments require divine alignment. You cannot step into your God-ordained relationship carrying pieces of what was never meant for you. So, when the doors start closing, trust the process. You might feel like everything is falling apart, but in truth, everything is falling into place. The endings you're facing are not signs that God has forgotten you. They are signs that He's preparing you. He's making sure your heart is purified from old attachments, so you can recognize real love when it arrives. You can't hold on to counterfeits and expect God to deliver the real thing. You can't keep entertaining distractions and expect to discern destiny. That's why He's closing doors so you can finally see clearly. This is the moment to surrender, not to struggle. It's the time to release your grip on what you thought you needed. When you learn to let go, you make room for God to show up. You'll begin to understand that divine closure is mercy in disguise. God isn't trying to break your heart. He's trying to rebuild it in His image. And one day, when you look back, you'll thank Him for every door that didn't open, every person who didn't stay, every plan that didn't work. Because they were all part of the divine strategy that led you to the one who was worth the wait. The truth is, God never closes a door without having a better one prepared. But He won't open the new until you're willing to walk away from the old. You can't enter your promised land while holding on to Egypt. You can't embrace your soulmate while clinging to your past. Closure isn't loss, it's preparation. Every ending is a divine setup for a new beginning. And when you finally meet the one God has chosen for you,
everything that once broke you will suddenly make sense. You'll realize why certain relationships had to end, why some people couldn't stay, and why God allowed certain seasons of emptiness. You'll understand that He wasn't denying you love, He was protecting you from lesser versions of it. The doors that closed didn't destroy you, they positioned you. They led you to a place of clarity, peace, and readiness. So if you're standing in a hallway right now, surrounded by closed doors, don't panic. That silence you feel isn't abandonment, it's alignment. God is orchestrating divine introductions, preparing hearts, and timing every detail perfectly. All He asks is that you trust Him enough to walk away from what's finished. Because when you do, you'll step into something far greater than what you imagined. You'll walk through the door that was always meant for you, the one that leads to the love that heaven designed, sealed, and saved just for your soul. When God is about to reveal your soulmate, one of the most transformative signs you will experience is that you begin to recognize growth instead of emptiness. There comes a moment when your heart no longer seeks to be filled by attention or temporary affection. The same things that once made you feel loved no longer satisfy you. You start realizing that love isn't about chasing constant excitement. It's about cultivating purpose, peace, and partnership. This is the stage where God begins to mature your spirit. He teaches you that true love cannot bloom in shallow soil. It must be rooted in growth, watered by faith, and nourished by patience. This inner shift is powerful because it means you're evolving. You're no longer the same person who once settled for almost love. You start valuing depth over drama, connection over chemistry, and truth over temporary pleasure. The emptiness that once controlled you begins to fade because God fills that space with meaning. You no longer wake up wondering who will validate you today. You rise knowing that you are already enough in His eyes. That's when you start becoming the person who attracts, not chases. The person who builds, not begs. As this growth unfolds, your prayers begin to change. You stop asking God for someone to love you and start asking Him to help you love correctly. You pray not just for a relationship, but for a divine partnership, one that glorifies Him and strengthens both souls involved. You begin to notice how your desires align more with purpose than with pleasure. You start seeking someone who can grow with you, not someone who just looks good next to you. You understand that the right relationship is not built on perfection, but on progress. Growth also means healing from your past. You start confronting your pain instead of burying it. You forgive not just others, but yourself, for trusting too soon, for giving too much, for loving people who weren't ready to receive it. You realize that healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means learning. Every heartbreak becomes a stepping stone, every disappointment a lesson, every season of waiting a preparation. God is refining your heart so that when your soulmate appears, you won't project your past on them. You will love with wisdom, not with wounds. You also begin to see growth in your standards. You no longer settle for potential. You look for purpose. You stop being impressed by words and start being moved by consistency. You realize that attraction fades, but alignment lasts. You want someone whose character speaks louder than their charm. You understand that your soulmate will not complete you. They will complement the growth God has already begun within you. That's why this season is sacred. It's where you learn to love yourself the way God loves you, so you can one day love someone else with the same grace. This growth doesn't come easy. It comes with loneliness, silence, and surrender. It comes with saying no to distractions that once felt irresistible. It comes with walking away from situations that no longer serve your peace. But every time you choose growth over emptiness, you take one step closer to the love that was designed for you. God is not just preparing someone for you, He's preparing you for someone, and He will not release that person until you are ready to receive them without losing yourself. When you reach this place of growth, your spirit begins to glow differently. People will notice your peace, your strength, your confidence. But what they're really seeing is God's hand on your life. You'll find joy in solitude, contentment in progress, and beauty in becoming. You won't rush the process anymore because you understand that every delay carries divine purpose. You'll stop asking, "When will they come?" and start saying, "Lord, keep shaping me until I'm ready." Then, one day, without warning, God will align your path with the one who matches your growth. You'll recognize them not by intensity, but by peace. There will be no confusion, no competition, no pretending, just clarity. They won't need you to shrink for them to shine. They'll meet you where you are and grow with you from there. Together, your love will not drain you. It will develop you. It will not feel like emptiness. It will feel like elevation. So if you find yourself in a season of becoming, embrace it fully. Don't despise your growth just because it feels slow. Don't compare your timeline to anyone else's. The love God is preparing for you is worth every lesson, every tear, every lonely night. Because when you finally meet the one He has chosen, you'll realize that all this growth wasn't in vain. It was the foundation of the forever you were praying for. Growth isn't what happens after love, it's what happens before it. And when you've grown enough to recognize it, God will reveal the one who's been growing too, just for you. When God is about to reveal your soulmate, a powerful awakening begins to stir within your spirit. It's not just a rush of emotion or fleeting excitement. It's a deep spiritual awakening that feels like your soul is remembering something it always knew was coming. You begin to feel alive again after seasons of numbness. Hope starts to return to your heart like sunlight breaking through after a long storm. It's as if something inside you begins to whisper, something beautiful is near. You may not see it yet, but your spirit knows. It begins to vibrate at a higher frequency, one that aligns with faith, expectancy, and divine timing. This awakening doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of God aligning your spirit with His promises. You start to notice small but undeniable shifts in your energy and awareness. You see beauty where you used to see pain. You feel grateful for your past instead of bitter about it. You sense God's presence in your ordinary days. In the sunrise, in a prayer, in a quiet moment of reflection. You begin to feel a pull toward greater purpose, as if heaven itself is preparing your heart for a sacred connection that will mirror His love. In this awakening, you start to see love differently. You realize it's not about possession, control, or validation. It's about partnership, growth, and divine alignment. You stop chasing emotional highs and start seeking spiritual depth. The kind of love you desire now is one that will elevate your faith, strengthen your peace, and make you a better version of yourself. You understand that real love doesn't drain your energy, it multiplies it. You begin to crave a relationship where prayer feels more powerful than passion, where purpose feels stronger than physical attraction, where two hearts come together to glorify God, not just to satisfy each other. You may notice this awakening in the way your heart softens. You'll begin to forgive more easily, to release grudges, and to wish peace on those who once hurt you. This isn't weakness, it's transformation. Your spirit is being prepared to love without fear, without insecurity, without walls. The love God is preparing you for will require a healed heart, and so He heals you first. He removes bitterness and replaces it with wisdom. He takes away resentment and fills it with compassion. You begin to realize that love, the way God intended it, is not something you find. It's something you become first. During this spiritual awakening, your intuition becomes sharper. You begin to sense when something is right or wrong without needing to analyze it. You'll feel a divine nudge that tells you when to wait and when to move. You'll recognize that the same spirit that lives in you will one day recognize its counterpart in another. You won't have to question it endlessly because the peace of God will confirm it. When you meet the one He has chosen, it won't be chaos, it will be clarity. It won't feel like guessing. It will feel like remembering. You will also start to experience signs and synchronicities that remind you that God is near. Certain scriptures will speak directly to your heart. You may start dreaming of love in a new light. You'll begin to feel joy even in your solitude, because you know deep down that you're not alone. God is walking you towards something sacred. It's as though heaven starts sending you gentle reminders that your story is still unfolding beautifully, even if you can't see the whole picture yet. And as your spirit awakens, your standards elevate too. You'll no longer be drawn to temporary people or shallow attention. You'll be drawn to authenticity, to kindness, to someone whose spirit feels familiar. The closer you get to God, the clearer your vision becomes. You stop wanting the kind of love that looks good on the outside and start praying for the kind of love that feels holy on the inside. You want a connection that challenges your spirit, not your peace. You want someone whose presence feels like a prayer being answered. This awakening is the bridge between your waiting and your miracle. It's God's gentle way of saying, you're ready now. You won't need to beg, chase, or prove yourself anymore. You'll realize that what's meant for you is not found through striving, but through surrendering. You'll understand that your soulmate isn't coming to complete your brokenness. They're coming to celebrate your wholeness. And when they appear, it won't be a coincidence. It will be divine timing meeting divine preparation. So when you start to feel that spiritual awakening inside you, when your soul feels lighter, your faith feels stronger, and your heart feels at peace, don't ignore it. That's not just emotion, that's revelation. It's a sacred signal that heaven is aligning your path with the person who has been prayed for just as much as you have. When God is about to reveal your soulmate, you won't just feel anticipation, you'll feel alignment. You'll sense that something extraordinary is approaching, and when it finally arrives, it will not steal your peace, it will multiply it. That's when you'll know you are standing on holy ground. The moment before love written by God Himself unfolds in your life. When God is about to reveal your soulmate, everything begins to align in divine timing. You'll start to notice how moments, lessons, and even heartbreaks from your past suddenly make sense. Every delay, every detour, and every disappointment becomes a thread in the perfect pattern God has been weaving behind the scenes. Divine timing isn't about speed, it's about synchronization. It's the moment when God looks at your heart and theirs and says, now you're both ready. The beauty of divine timing is that it cannot be rushed, replaced, or ruined. What God ordains will always arrive right on time, not a moment too soon and not a second too late. You may have spent years waiting, wondering why it hasn't happened yet. You may have questioned if God heard your prayers or if something was wrong with you. But when it's divine timing, you'll realize that the wait was never wasted. God was preparing you, pruning you, and positioning you. He was refining your heart, strengthening your faith, and teaching you what love truly means. Every season of loneliness had purpose. Every unanswered prayer was a setup for something greater. Because God doesn't delay to punish you, He delays to develop you. When divine timing begins to unfold, things that once felt forced suddenly flow with ease. You won't have to chase, manipulate, or beg for clarity. God's hand will guide every detail effortlessly. The conversations will feel natural. The connection will feel peaceful. The timing will feel undeniable. You'll find yourself saying, if this had happened sooner, I wouldn't have been ready. That's the beauty of God's plan. It protects you from premature blessings. He will never allow you to receive what your heart isn't yet prepared to sustain. Sometimes God withholds what you want because He's building you into who you're meant to be. Imagine giving a priceless gift to someone who doesn't yet know how to handle it. It would destroy them. That's why God waits. He doesn't just prepare the blessing, He prepares the blessed. He takes his time molding both hearts, shaping both lives, and aligning both destinies. When divine timing strikes, it's like two puzzle pieces finally fitting perfectly together. Not by chance, but by divine design. During this time, you'll begin to notice divine order surrounding your life. Doors that once stayed shut will open effortlessly. People who don't belong will fade without conflict. Circumstances will shift in your favor without you forcing anything. The same roads that once led to confusion will now lead to clarity. This is the moment when you realize that God was never silent. He was strategic. He was arranging every step, every encounter, every pause to lead you right where you're supposed to be. When divine timing manifests, it feels different from anything you've experienced before. It's not a whirlwind of emotions, it's a wave of peace. You won't have to wonder if it's real, because peace will be your confirmation. The love that's meant for you will never come with anxiety or confusion. It will come with calmness, assurance, and purpose. You'll feel secure, not scared. You'll feel guided, not lost. It will be as if heaven itself is smiling on your connection, whispering, "This is what I've prepared for you." You will also realize that God's timing is not just about bringing two people together. It's about aligning two callings. Your soulmate won't just fit your heart, they'll fit your purpose. Their dreams will complement yours. Their strengths will balance your weaknesses. Their faith will strengthen your walk with God. You'll both understand that you were not brought together merely for happiness, but for impact, for a greater divine mission that glorifies the one who wrote your love story. When it's divine timing, everything that once felt heavy becomes light. You'll stop worrying about the how and rest in the when. You'll no longer look at others and compare their journeys to yours, because you'll understand that your story is being written by a perfect author. Every page you turned with tears will one day make sense when you see how God used it all to lead you here. His timing will prove that delay is not denial, it's preparation for destiny. So if you're waiting right now, don't lose faith. The clock of heaven never runs late. Trust that God is aligning your steps with someone whose path will cross yours in a way only He could design. Every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've shed, every night you've wondered if it would ever happen, all of it is being answered in God's perfect time. You don't need to force what's already yours. You just need to stay faithful while He finishes preparing it. Because when divine timing arrives, it won't feel like striving. It will feel like home. The peace, the alignment, the purpose, the love, all of it will flow naturally, and you'll look back and realize that God's timing was never slow. It was simply sacred. It was saving the best for last, because the love that heaven writes always comes right on time.